So I paid this little gay guy, Richie, and he was basically just stealing from me. The World Hempfest in 97? High Times, World Hempfest, #1, Eugene, Oregon. I got a booth. This was my big thing. Right? I had just been making money. I'm making decent money, but I wasn't really, I didn't have money. I wasn't stacking up money, you know? I was just blowing glass and selling it and living off the money. Like, it wasn't accruing money, right? I looked at this Hempfest thing as my big, you know, thing. So I went at it like a major operation, and I started months and months, which, you know, any successful thing is gonna start like that. So, and what I did by starting months and months earlier was I had this friend, Jason, that I sold weed to, and he worked at Saxer Brewery, which Saxer Brewery was an amazing brewer that brewed these traditional lager beers, lager style beers, which notoriously, like, lagers are like your crappy Budweiser and all that shit's lager, but it's like bastardized lager. Like, this company made like real deal lager beers, amazing lager beers, Doppelbox, box. So one of the things with bottling beer, at least with the level of equipment that this company had, is you ended up with what they called short fills. And these could be either bottles that weren't full enough, or if they're too full. So I would give this dude a tenth of weed, which had a $40 value, for 3 cases of short fills. For months, I was stacking up. Now I would drink all the ones that were super far off. So if it was too full or close in the neck, I'd save it. Everything else I'd drink. Gail and I would drink. Then, so I think I had 60, if memory serves, I think I had 60 cases of beer when I hit the Hempfest. So I had taken with me crews of people. I had crews of people that were working the booth, and then I had other crews of people that were selling the beer. So literally one afternoon, I just spent like the whole afternoon in the back of my U-Haul, and what I did was I just rented a ton of blankets, bought a ton of ice, and just made a giant, and my mistake was I got some dry ice and I threw it in there, so I had some breakage because literally the bottles froze solid. But I had ice cold beer in the middle of this just brutally hot field, and I had crews of people just out there, and I was selling them for $20 for 24 beers. $20 a case. That's what I'd sell it for to my crew. Then my crew would go sell, and now these are cases, right? So that case, I got 3 of them for something that cost me probably about $25, right? So so then I sold what I got for $25, I sold for 60. Then my crew was selling beers for $2 a piece. And fucking $2 beer? Pfft. They were like, yeah, I sold this guy his first beer 4 hours ago, and I just walked by him and he was passed out drunk. Because these weren't just your normal crappy little beers, no. These were like Doppelbock and Bock, you know, so like 7%, 6%, 8.2%, you know, like potent beers, like the kind of beer you drink in the winter time, not the kind of beer you drink in the summertime. So, and also I bought like the hugest tarp I could find and the tallest A-frame ladder. So I showed up to this place and I went out in the corner and I put up this ladder and I put the tarp all over it and I bought a bunch of tents and I just set up this huge compound that just pissed off several people. Like somebody was cutting my lines that were holding my tarp up, and so I paid this little gay guy, Richie, and he was basically just stealing from me. This friend of the crew, and I hire him and he just comes out there and he's just stealing. First off, he was supposed to be like, I was providing food for my whole crew, several meals a day, and I gave him $500 cash to buy all the food, and he like boiled a bunch of fucking noodles before he going out there. I mean, he just fucked it up. There was literally no edible food out there for $500. And then when he worked the booth, the math was all fucked up. He was stealing. So I had blown tons of fucking glass, and I also had bought tons of bottled water, which I got these jumbo bottles of water for like 87 cents a piece with a sports cap on them, and I bought cases of them. So I had basically a head shop, and I also brought in like Ted the jeweler. He came in with like, he made like fancy rings with pot leaves on them and fancy pokers. And then I had this dude that I commissioned a ceramics guy to make these, what I invented this thing called a cash tray. So it's an ashtray with a piece of cork in the center. So you take your glass pipe and you can hit your glass pipe on the cork and not have a possibility of breaking it by trying to tap it on a ceramic or glass ashtray, right? So it's just, and I had to make out a bunch of those things. And then I had this girl that I was a friend with, and she was a soft glass blower. And I probably could have had a great relationship with her, but the day that she like invited me out to go blow glass, I was so hungover in the studio, and it was just hot and miserable that I think she was just like, oh, you're just a pathetic party animal. So anyway, she was super awesome, and she had a bunch of just like normal bongs. Like she made up a bunch of bongs. So I had special cabinets made, glass or plastic cabinets. Now, did I have them make, or did I make them? Display cabinets, you know, like, so it looked like, and I had a legitimate booth, you know, like wire or tube pipes and covered with tarps, you know, white nice tarps, and I mean it looked really professional. So I had the water for sale, I had all my pipes, and then I had all my friends' stuff in there as well that we were selling, and all those friends were there, and they were taking, it was like a 3-day thing or something like that. So everybody had, we had shifts. I mean, it was all legitimate. And I mean, the biggest problem was Richie, and it was him was stealing. So fuck you, Richie. That's what makes you want to call people names like silly little faggot, because they come and they steal. Andy's a gay guy. Did he steal because he was gay? Probably not. But because he's gay and he steals, that makes me want to call him fucking the nastiest names I can. Piece of shit, fucking all this shit, right? So anyway, I also met my partner in the nightclub in this thing. I went from the country fair, 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, I didn't go to the country fair, I went to the Hempfest. And then 9, I was back to the country fair. What that did for me is that gave me a huge pile, it gave me a huge pile of cash, which is something I hadn't had in quite a while. I mean, I was making money and just kind of getting along. but like getting a big chunk of money all at once, that was something that, because my whole business revolved around selling glass and selling weed, and I was basically like buying like quarter pounds and then breaking them down into tenths and then selling them. I had, you know, like maybe a couple $1,000s that would in the mix, you know. Well, after that, it was like, bam, I had freaking 5,000, I think. That was one thing. And then I met this guy, Jay Stover. Jason at Bad Kitty introduced me to this guy that had website stuff going on in like 97 or something, 98. And I remember standing there and sitting there and watching this page load. There's my glass on the computer thing, you know. So this dude, he was at Hempfest. He was like a metal singer or something, or in rock bands. He had long hair, he had a super hot girlfriend, and he was a smart dude. Already doing website stuff in the 90s. I don't know how he met this guy, this Jeffrey Stover, and I don't remember his name. I don't know, but this Jeffrey Stover guy, this guy is fucking human trash. This guy, he did some shit to some people down in fucking California that made them beat his ass, smash his face so fucking bad that he had facial bones in wrong places, which comes out later, of course. And then he fucking rips off me, rips off a lot of other people, and rats everybody out. And we're out in the parking lot. Hempfest is over, partying hard. I had been keeping my wits about me and not doing any drinking the whole time. The final night was like party time. I had a megaphone, and we're out in the parking lot singing like Alice in Chains. And this fucking dude was a good singer. Well, he introduced me to this J guy right then and there. So this J guy goes on to rip off all these people. But anyway, I ended up partnering up with this guy because he had control of this warehouse. So